name's Caleb, I'm your host, and today we're going to be making one of my favorite recipes. It's going to be stuffed chicken Florentine with a side of roasted butternut squash with rosemary. If you've never had butternut squash before, it's absolutely delicious in this recipe. The ingredients that you're going to be needing is two stuffed chicken breasts. You're going to need mozzarella cheese, feta cheese, saltine crackers, or breadcrumbs. I'm actually using saltine crackers right now. An egg, 4 garlic cloves, spinach of course, butter, rosemary, salt and pepper. If you'd like, you can have oregano or sage. Go ahead and preheat the oven at 375 degrees so we can have that out of the way. And let's get started with the chicken Florentine. So we'll go ahead and start with the spinach here. I'm going to take it all out of the bowl. What I want to do is I want to take out any bad pieces that look like they might be old. Most of this is new, most of it looks good. Except for 1, 2, alright. And then you want to cut it into about 3/4 inch slices. I'm just going to put it in a pile here, and if it doesn't get to be 3/4 inches, then that's not a big deal to me. I just want to slice it up so that it'll fit inside of the chicken when we stuff the chicken. So just then we're going to throw in our 1 cup of saltine crackers or bread crumbs into the spinach bowl. And then we want to mince up some garlic as well. Here's a tip on garlic. If you have fresh garlic cloves and they still have the skin on them, the best way that I have found to break them open is just take your knife. If you have a thick knife like this, push down and then they'll crack open and then the skin will just come right on off right after that. If it doesn't come right on off, just do it again. See, and it just falls right off like that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to do this to the rest of them. And another quick tip, if you have an extra bowl lying around that you just used that's empty now, throw all your trash in that. You just throw it in the trash can, that way you don't have to make trips back and forth. Now we want to mince up the garlic into small pieces. I'm just going to chop it up twice like that and just go and dice it up. Now we can go ahead and put the egg in. And then of course we can go ahead and put in some mozzarella cheese. I'm going to cut off about 10 very small pieces here. Sorry, not 10. I'm going to make about 8 pieces here. And then I'm just going to cut them again. Also, be careful when using salt. If you're using breadcrumbs or saltine crackers, you've already got some amount of salt in the crackers or breadcrumbs. So you'll want to kind of make this recipe a few times before you add the salt. But maybe a half a teaspoon, maybe a 1/4 teaspoon would be alright to add, considering how much we're making. We're making 2 chicken breasts, that we can stuff with that as well. We're going to go ahead and add our half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of sage, make that a 1/4 teaspoon, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of oregano. We're going to add feta cheese. This is a 6-ounce container. I'm going to add about half of it, which is about 3 ounces of cheese, which is around half a cup, I believe. We're going to add half the container. And there we go. Now you just want to mix this together until it's pretty well blended, and then we can stuff the chicken with this. Now with the chicken, we're going to go ahead and cut the chicken up to make room so we can stuff it with the cheeses and breading and everything that we just did. So what you want to do is take a small knife, not the big one, but the small one that we have here, and then just cut down the middle. Do not cut all the way through the chicken. Just simply cut very close to it, just making sure that you leave enough room to be able to get to the bottom of the chicken. Don't cut to the cutting board. See, I'm not cutting all the way through. So I'm just kind of cutting from a ½ inch from each end down the middle. And then after that, I'm going to go inside the chicken here and cut out a slice all the way down so we have somewhere to put the stuffing. So I can kind of just clean it out here. And now on this side I have room, and I'm making sure not to go all the way through the meat. So now I have this little cavity here, and I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side of the chicken. So now we have our cavity that we can fill with the stuffing, and we're going to go and do this with all the chicken breasts that we have. Let's go ahead and add the melted butter to our breading. Stir it up one last time. And we have a nice chunky breading in order to put these chicken breasts. And I'm just simply going to pick it up and fill the places that I've cut with the breading. Push it down pretty good. I'm going to pack it pretty tight. That way half of this can kind of fit into the chicken breast. Very much like that. And I'm not going to be able to close the chicken breast all the way like it was before. I'm actually going to leave it partially open. I want the cheese to kind of spill out and go over all the chicken. It kind of looks something like that. Now we can put the chicken breast in a very lightly oiled pan. I just put about half a teaspoon of oil, olive oil, on the pan. And each chicken is going to get its own pan. You can put this on a large cookie sheet or board the pan, however you want to do it. I like doing it in these single serves. I'm only making 2 of them, and they fit in the oven a little bit better for me. I'm going to go ahead and set the chicken that is stuffed to the side here and put it in the refrigerator too, because I'm actually going to start making the roasted butternut squash. And with rosemary, I need to go ahead and clean off my cutting board because it has touched raw chicken. Preparing the butternut squash is actually quite easy. What you want to do is just put it on its side and then cut it in half. If you're going to use the whole butternut squash, then for the portions that you have, then go ahead and do that. But I'm actually only going to be using half, and I'll use the other half later on. So what I'll do is I'll just freeze it. Yeah, but if I wanted to cook the whole thing and freeze it as well, that would be just as well. And you can just open it up. I found that using an ice cream scoop to scoop out the seeds and the inside, kind of like you would a pumpkin at Halloween. Just scrape it around the edges. And they should just fall right on out. Once the squash doesn't have any more of the insides or the seeds, you can go ahead and barely cut the tips. And I have a potato peeler. I'm just going to take most of the skin off. It gets very tough when you bake the actual skin, so I don't like to do this at all. So I'm just going to take the whole thing and skin it. Now you can go ahead and dice up the butternut squash into cubes. Just remember, the larger the cube that you dice it into, the longer it's going to take to cook all the way through the squash. I like to do it about ½ an inch by ½ an inch per dicing, or not dicing, just per cube that you're making it. So I'm actually going to cut this in half. So I can take each one of these, them into half-inch lines, and then I'll slice them into half-inch cubes. What you want to do now is you'll want to go ahead and put everything in a small bowl, and don't drop everything. Oops. Man down, man down. You can throw a little bit of olive oil on there just to coat it. You don't want to be frying it, you're just baking it and roasting it. And evenly coat the squash. Go ahead and throw in your tablespoon of dried rosemary. And then of course do your half a teaspoon of salt and pepper. Mix it up again. And I also have a pan that is lined with aluminum foil. This dish will actually stick to the pan. It's just for better and easier cleanup at the very end. And I'm just going to very lightly coat this a little bit, just to make cleanup a little bit easier at the end. I'll go ahead and put everything in here. I'm going to fold the edges just so the oil stays next to it. And I do want to cover it up just a little bit. You can leave the middle exposed, just like that. And we're going to put this and the chicken in the oven at the same time. It should take about 35 to 45 minutes at 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we're going to enjoy a good dinner. So here we are, 35 minutes later. We're going to go ahead and take everything out of the oven. Good. I might have to eat the rest of this real quick and then come back on camera. That's really good. Thank you for joining me today. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. I do come out with a new video every week. If you have any recipes that you want to see me make in the future, be sure to write it down in the comments. I do read those and I will respond to those as well. Until next time.